or on this computer. Bingo, there we go. Or, don't say anything stupid because people may see.
Yeah, let's do some bash scripting.
Oh god.
Yeah, let's do some bash scripting. Well, that's the problem, man. I don't want to be like that, but also this is totally going to be like a YouTube tutorial. Like, hey, what does this do? Let's like add a new user, and do you want to make a new file? Here's how we do it. There's no better way to like. Hopefully, this like gives you feel more comfortable to like try stuff, because that's the only way you're going to learn Linux. Like, I'm not going to walk through here and you're going to be like, oh, that makes sense. This doesn't, like, you're going to have to like do it yourself. I hate to say it, but this hopefully like is a nice starter. So I asked everyone to download VirtualBox and get that installed, as well as having the Kali Linux VirtualBox image downloaded. I picked the VirtualBox image instead of the ISO just as like the simplest barrier to entry possible. So I'm just going to start walking through stuff. If I'm going too fast, going too slow, let me know. But so basically what we're going to do is we're going to open up VirtualBox. If you just type in Windows VirtualBox, it will not come up. It's pretty stupid. This VirtualBox.exe is not VirtualBox. That's the installer. So you have to go into like your actual C drive, into the program files under Oracle, VirtualBox, scroll to the bottom, and then there's the executable. So if you don't have it pinned to your taskbar and you like actually want to use VirtualBox, I suggest potentially doing that. So I'll just paste where the fuck is the chat? Oh my god, I feel like a fucking professor right now. Chat, there we go. There we go. If you want the path, go for it. And then VirtualBox will open. And most of the times, if you wanted to create a new virtual machine, you can go to New and walk through everything. But luckily, we already downloaded the Kali Linux VirtualBox image, so we can just go to File and Import Appliance. We're going to keep it on our local file system and then hit the little folder button right there. If you didn't move it, it's probably under your Downloads folder. I keep all my images in a different folder, though. So in here, I have a Kali Linux OVA, which is a Oracle Virtual Appliance, I think is what that stands for. So I'm going to go ahead and click Next, let it through. We're going to keep all these settings the same. We'll go through and change them in a little bit, but I don't even know if you can change anything in here anyways. And then we're just going to hit Import, hit Agree, and then it's going to sit there and do its thing. So it's going to take about 1.5 minutes to import. So...
You know, say everybody should get to the screen. If everybody does not get to the screen, something broke. Let us know, and we can go back and we can help you.
Yeah, which is it takes some time to import, so we're good. Actually, oh no, can I not access? Oh, well, might take me a little longer because I have all my machines running right now. So I'm actually gonna cancel mine and we're gonna close you.
Mine currently says 5 minutes, so.
And we're gonna close you.
But now it's 40 seconds, so.
Yeah, import appliance.
It says 4:30.
It's usually
9.
Oh, it's usually quicker.
Yeah, mine is done. It just finished.
Is Titan a reference to the Titan, or what is that?
No, all of my machines are named after rockets. So I have Falcon, Electron, Titan, New Glenn, Vulcan, Starship. I think that's all the machines I have for different various things. I'm gonna let mine finish up so I can be like, because I already have a Kali image on here I'm gonna use. But I'll go ahead and just like let this go through so I can get the exact experience that you guys are getting. So yeah, so I name all my hosts after different rockets.
All right, I'm gonna restart mine. So it was at like 14 minutes.
And there we go. We're good. So we'll give Franklin here just a second to give his another try. And I'll start you up and I'll start you back up.
How's class going for everyone?
Oh, just wonderful.
Fuck.
You know what?
just out of curiosity, how many people here do not have any experience with Kali Linux, Linux in general?
I have a little experience with Linux because of my Unix class, but then again, Christopher doesn't know what he's doing half the time, so.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I've like messed with it once, but that's about it.
I have it running on a dual boot on a separate laptop.
Okay, now
So-
mine's
I
gone.
use Arc or Arch as my main distro right now on my laptop.
Frank,
Right. Okay.
Franklin, you said yours is done.
It's got like 30 seconds left. but
Oh,
yeah.
okay, cool.
Is
So
anyone else still importing?
yeah, if anyone has a problem, say aye. No?
Okay.
Wonderful. So we're going to change a couple of settings around on here. Some of them are kind of per person basis, and some of them are settings that we're all going to need to change. Specifically, if you click on settings and then go under system, the amount of RAM that you give it is going to be based on how much you have. I have 16 gigs, so most of my boxes outside of Titan, which is a DNS server, I usually give 4 gigs. 2 is fine for our application for today. So you can leave that the same. If you want to give it more, you can. If you want to give it less, I highly suggest you don't do that. And it usually, I think, defaults to 2 processor cores, or I guess it's threads, not cores. Like I said, for what we're doing, we're not doing anything like super intensive, probably ever, to be completely honest. And I know some people are on laptops, so 2 is fine. Under your display, just kind of keep all those basic settings. Same with the storage, that's all fine. The one thing that we actually really need to change is under our network adapter. So under adapter 1, your default settings should be NAT. We're going to change that to bridged adapter. So basically what that does is we're going to change it from this virtual machine. It's going to go from just being local on your computer to your router looking at it as a separate machine. So it'll get its own IP address on your network, which means that we can reach out to this device from our host machine. We can reach out to what's called the guest operating system, which is Kali Linux. So once you get that done, go ahead and hit start, and that'll start up the virtual machine for you. Oh, I lied. There's one other setting.
So mine failed to import. So that's fun.
Yours failed to import?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and give that another shot. So like I said, you're going to want to change the network to bridge adapter, and then under USB, you're going to want to change the controller from USB 2.0 to USB 1.1. Why? I don't know. But all of my boxes have given me this problem, so it might be just a me problem, but I suggest you potentially doing that.
It worked after I did that. So
yeah, Frank, go ahead and try giving that import another try there for me.
Yeah, I tried to import it again. Just says when I hit agree, it just says failed import. So I'm gonna restart.
What's the error?
Box. Oh well, I just closed it. So I'll tell you when I get it back up.
I'm assuming the username is admin, password admin. Right?
Username is going to be Kali. So KALI is username. And
didn't they change it to root Tor?
Yeah, I think that's what it actually.
I think 2000 or 2020 is root Tor now.
Yeah.
it's Kali.
Is it Kali?
Originally, it was root Tor. Now they changed it to Kali.
Okay.
Okay, so
What's the password? Is it the same thing?
Yeah, it's going to be KALI for the username, KALI for the.
Okay.
So the error is result code E_invalid argument. That's fun.
E_invalid argument.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. Insufficient free storage space might be the answer.
What drive are you trying to install?
It's not Kali.
Lowercase k.
Yeah, I know. It's a debug.
It should be
okay, there we go. It worked.
Okay, yeah, let me switch the folder to where it's going to. That will probably fix it.
Yeah, what drive are you trying to?
Yeah, I just gotta switch it to my hard drive rather than my solid state. Because for some reason, I automatically went to that. So I just gotta wait for it to download again, or
That's no
to
problem.
import.
Do you mind if I partially walk through a little bit right off the bat here?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. So is anyone having problems with getting their Kali box started and logging in?
How did he full screen that, by the way?
I mean, the Kali box whenever virtual box starts up, you should be able to hit that on there, and then under view virtual screen, you can set the different.
Okay.
You can also set it like in the OS, but I found that it doesn't always stick. So you guys are going to get your Kali boxes up once that starts. So basically, this is Kali Linux. Everything that you're going to need is probably up here. So you'll have all your applications. There are different, like, you can just hit all applications here and see everything that you have, as well as they give you like different groups for different types of tools that are installed. And as always, the most important tool is your command line. So right now you're signed in as Kali, but what we're gonna do is we want to add a new user that is you. Logging in as like the root user is not a good idea. Kali, I don't think Kali is a root user. Well, it is a root user, but it's not root. But still, just to get some more experience in Linux, we're gonna go ahead and create a new user. So how to do that is we're gonna need to use a command called sudo, which basically is saying, hey, I want to do this command as an administrator. There are some things that can only be done as an administrator, and how you do that through the command line is typing the command sudo, the argument sudo. So we're gonna type sudo, add user, and then you can make this username anything you want. I'm just gonna name it Chase. That's what I always name myself on all my machines, it's just my name. So once you do that, sudo add user Chase, it'll ask you for a password, so we can just type in Kali since that's the password. For the root user that we're trying to sign in as, and then bam, you're going to get a kind of like a form within the command line. So as you see here, it's adding all these new users. Well, it's adding the single new user Chase, and then we're going to go ahead and give it a password here. I'll retype my password again. It took my password, which is great, and then I can type my full name, type whatever you want in there, room number, work number, home phone. It has some enterprise stuff in there as well, like the work phone, room number, etc. You don't need to answer any of those things, though. Just put the password and your full name in. And then once all that information is correct, I'll go ahead and hit yes. And then that's all we're going to do as the Kali user. So after we make that new user, what we're going to do is come up in the right-hand corner and click the little what looks like potentially a power button, and we're just going to hit switch user. And then once you switch users, we're going to go ahead and sign in as our new user that we just created. That confuse anybody? Is anyone potentially behind? Is everyone caught up? Yeah. Keep me updated on how you're doing.
Gave me the error again, so.
Give you the error again?
Yeah, even though it's like it should have enough space. Like how much? I don't know how much.
I think 10 gigs.
No,
had,
it's
like-
3 gigs.
How much?
3 gigs.
Well, I already have the thing down.
Yeah, no, I think the virtual machine makes a virtual hard drive of 10 gigs.
Oh.
Okay. Because the one that I'm trying to download it on has 115
I
gigs
think it's
free.
not full
So
screen. I made it to full screen, and I meant to make it like windowed full screen, and now I can't get to that window.
Do you have it set to scale to 100%?
It's right now. It says it's scaled to full screen, like just full screen flat.
Frank,
Like if you do view and go to full
I'm
screen,
gonna
you
call
got it.
you on Discord.
Okay.
And just instantly mute my microphone just so you can share your screen.
all right.
So I want to take a look at your settings.
Thanks for helping them out, Dan.
Yeah, of course.
So if everyone's caught up, what's up, Brooklyn?
Sorry.
No problem.
So when I did this, I made the username. I don't know if it's like type specific, like it has to be all lowercase.
Did it give you an error saying that it's
Just
not like appropriate or something.
watching the
Right.
regular expression configured via name regex.
Yeah, so their usernames usually you want to try to stick like, oh, I think they even yell at you for uppercase as a probably. I think if I remember correctly, but I would probably go all lower space, and if you can, try to keep it one word or like one statement. Don't do spaces.
Okay, so you have to do the same thing again.
Yeah, so you're gonna want to type sudo space add user space and then type a username that you feel is appropriate for yourself. I don't know 100% the criteria off the top of my head.
Room number. What?
Yeah, just hit enter. You don't need to add that information in.
Yes. Okay, and then you said we have to like restart it.
So in the upper right hand corner, you should see something that could be taken as a power button. And then we're going to click switch user. So we're going to switch. Oh, wait, no, I lied. Sorry. Okay, you guys need to all log back in as Callie. We need to add that user to the sudo group. And I mean, there's other ways to do it, but there's a way better way to. Yeah, so everyone log back in as Callie. Callie. I mean, as Callie. Sorry.
Come on now, man.
Sorry, everybody.
Are you there? Are you there? By offensive security. It's pretty funny.
So I'm gonna give everyone like another 30 seconds to log back in as Callie, and then go ahead and open up your terminal again. We have one more command that we need to do to add you as a user into the sudo group in Kali Linux. Or this works for any Linux actually. We're just using Kali because there's a bunch of pre-installed tools for like hacking and stuff.
Yeah, hack.
So we will, once you get logged in again as Kali, what we're going to do is we're going to use a command called usermod. So we're going to hit type sudo usermod, and then we're going to do dash uppercase G. So this is the command usermod allows us to do different modifications to users. The dash G allows us to add a user to a specific group. So the group that we're going to want to add everyone to is the root group. So that you'll have admin privileges over your machine, and then whatever your username is. So I made a user on this machine yesterday called test user. So I can do sudo usermod -g root test user. So I'll hit enter. It's going to ask for that password, which is Kali, all lowercase. Once you do that, it should just go back to your command line. So I'll give everyone the option at this point, since I just had you log out and log back in, to go to Kali Linux. I mean, move to your account if you want to. You don't have to for the stuff we're doing. I just have like a couple of like different commands that we want to walk through that I think is good to explain to you guys. And then I have a little demonstration on some hacking that we can do with some of the pre-installed tools inside of Kali Linux to a box that I have installed on this PC. So hopefully we're able to get through everything before 6, because if not, I'm going to have to give it over to Dan to walk through some stuff. But we'll do the demonstration before I leave for sure, though. So if you haven't moved over to log in yet to your thing, go ahead and do that. I'll give like 30 seconds to do that before I kind of move on for things. Again, it kind of stinks to it's a little slow to learn Linux this way, but I want, like I said, this to be like an easy toe dip process. So that in your guys' free time, you feel a little more comfortable to hop in here and just kind of learn how to do things. The best way to learn Linux is to pick a project that involves Linux. And you're like, okay, well, I want to do this. Well, let's start. How do I make this? How do I make a web server? And you walk through it. So the first command that I'm going to talk about is pwd, which is print working directory. If you type that, it tells you where in your folder structure that you are inside your terminal. Using your terminal is kind of like using your command line. Using your file explorer. So as you see here, our print working directory is the home directory for my user. And if we look inside of my file explorer, we're in the home directory for my user again. And if I type the command ls, which is list directory, we can see all the different folders or files that are in those, that's in the directory that you're in or in the folder that you're in. So as you see here, all this stuff matches up with all of this stuff. It's pretty simple. If you kind of think of things as in your command line, you're working through different folders, it's kind of a little bit easier to think of. So print working directory just tells you, hey, what folder am I in? Whenever you open up your command line, you will automatically be put into your home directory. And if you ever want to go back to your home directory, you can just type the command cd. So I'm going to move into my documents folder real quick. So I'm in my documents folder now, ls. We can see all the stuff that's in there. So if you just type the cd command, that will automatically always take you back to your home directory. So if you always want to start from one place, starting from your home directory is kind of the easiest, safest way to do it. So just typing cd brings you back to there. But cd is a command itself where you can do other things with it as well. It stands for change directory. So say we're in we'll type ls so we can see everything that's in here, and we say, okay, well, I want to go to my desktop from here. How do I navigate to the desktop folder? Like I said, you use the command cd for change directories, and we'll go ahead and type out desktop. One of the things that you need to be aware of, Linux is case sensitive. So if desktop has a capital D, you have to put a capital D. If I do cd desktop, it'll say no such file directory exists. I'll do cd desktop with a capital D. It works. That took me longer than I would like to admit to figure out. Is everyone kind of caught up? Does everything make sense so far? I haven't touched on much, but I've touched on a little. Is anyone lost? Anyone have any questions? No? Good. It's hopefully a good thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cd back to my main directory, my home directory, and I want to go to my documents folder. We're going to go ahead and play around in our documents folder for a little bit. So you can go ahead and cd into your document folder. So cd space documents with a capital D. That will take you from your home directory into the documents folder. And in there, we're going to learn about making a new file. So if you ever want to make a new file, the command is going to be touch. So just like touch. Linux has some weird commands like touch and finger. I don't know why, but it does. So we're going to do touch, and then we're going to do just like text.txt. So whenever you're making these files, if you want to if you want to tell Linux what the type of file is, you have to put the file extension here. But I can call it test.py and just make it a text document. Like the file extensions in Linux that you're typing in this name don't necessarily make it that type of file. The contents of the file make it that type of file, which is kind of a pain in the butt concept to learn and get used to. But the more that you play with Linux, the more it makes sense. The same thing kind of with Linux. You can, not Linux, sorry, with Python, it's really fluid with what every variable is. It's kind of the same way in Linux. So we're going to go touch test.txt, and that will open up, that will create a new file for us. So if we do ls, we see test.txt is there. I'm actually going to remove that just in case, because I was playing around yesterday with what I was going to do today. So I'm going to make sure that's empty. So test.txt. And then if we are ever curious what a file is, there's a command that will tell you what the contents of a file are. And I bet you couldn't guess it. It's just called file. So we'll go file.txt. So the command file and the argument is going to be the file that we actually want to look at. And since we haven't put anything in our test file, it's just going to be empty. So at this point, technically, there should be nothing inside of it. We have no idea what it is. Or there's nothing in there for us to know what it is. So let's go ahead and edit it. There are tons of different text editors in Linux, just like there's a bunch of text editors on Windows. And this includes the command line. In my opinion, the easiest to use is Nano. So that's what I'm going to use today. There's other ones like Vim, V. there's tons of them outside of those two, but those Nano, Vim, and VI are kind of like the three super popular ones that I know off the top of my head. So if we type the command nano test.txt, that will open up that document inside of our text editor. So this basically is as much like Notepad as you could probably get out of a text editor. You can, just type. It's what it is. So we'll just go ahead and test like this is a test text document. Just add some text in there, and then to exit out of the file, all of these are different. All these are different arguments that you can give inside of the text editor. The little caret up, I forget what the actual name is control. So I'm going to hit Control X to exit out, and it's going to say, hey, you changed the file. Do you want to save the modifications you just made? I'm going to click yes on my keyboard, and then it's going to ask you, where do you want to write these to? I want to write it to test.txt, so I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and then I'm thrown back to my command line. Now, if we use the file command again to see what's inside of that test document, test.txt, now it's going to show us that it's ASCII text. So basically just, it's a text document is what it's telling us. And so there's a couple of different ways to find the contents of a file. Most of the time you can use a text editor to open things up. Or if you're not worried about editing the file and you just want to find out what's inside of it, there's a command called cat, just C-A-T. Just think it stands for concatenation. So there's a couple of different things that you can do with the cat command, but one of the things that you can do with it is if you just go ahead and give it a file, cat.txt, it will then just go ahead and output that file, whatever's in the file there. So for this test document, it just outputs, this is a text document. Some other examples of things that I have on here, let's do like cat Python test. I don't know what I have in here. I think it's just another like text file. Yeah, it has like hello world, print hello in a Java thing for things I was messing with yesterday. So it will just output whatever. If there's a lot of stuff in that text file, it will go for a long, it'll just output everything. So you may have to scroll a little bit, but that's okay. But that kind of will give you the output. So if you're ever going through and kind of wondering, hey, what's in this file? I don't want to open it. You can just use the cat command to just print all that extra stuff into the command line for you. Does anyone have any questions so far about things? Everything making a little bit of sense? I don't hear anything, so I'm going to go with either you're content with what's happening or it makes sense. So good with that. So we'll go ahead and move on to one other quick command. It's just called history. Just something that's convenient to know. If you type history, it'll go ahead and show you all the commands that you've run. It looks like in this virtual machine, I've only run 116 commands since I've started it, because it goes back to like all this stuff that I've done. So basically, all that does is it just gives you all the commands you run. There is a limit. I've seen it in my in my Windows subsystem Linux. If I check my history, it's up to 1,000. So I don't know how long it actually goes for, but you can see a lot of stuff from some of my old classes in there. So if you're ever kind of wondering, hey, what did I do to do this? History is a great way if you want to, copy and paste those into a text document for you. That's always an option. So two commands that we're going to use in kind of parallel are copy and move. So I'll go ahead and hit LS so we can see what files we have here. And I want to copy my test text file. So to do that, you just use CP and then you put the file that you want to. So this is pretty much just copy and paste. So I want to copy the test txt file. I want to copy that, but I don't want to copy it into my documents folder. So one of the great things about Linux is you don't always have to do stuff with the commands right in the folder that you're working in. You can do it into other folders. So I don't, this is kind of a hard thing to explain perfectly. But for example, if you have a folder that's inside of your documents folder, say you have a school assignments folder and you wanted to move your test.txt file into your school assignments folder, you can use what's called relative locations. So if you just do slash school projects, it will assume that the slash school projects slash, and then you have to put the name of the file that you want to make it. So I'm just going to put test2.txt, okay? So I want to make test.txt. I want to put it in the slash documents slash school projects folder and name it test2.txt. It will assume that the school projects folder is inside of your documents folder. If you are putting it somewhere that isn't your documents folder, say you want to put it in your music folder, you have to give it the full file path. So the full file path for my music folder would be /home/ your username, which my username is Chase. So /home/ Chase /music, and then /test2.txt. Does that make sense to everyone as to like, if it's in the documents folder, you can just say, hey, I want to go one more level down to the school projects folder. But if it's not in your documents folder, you have to tell the operating system exactly where it's at. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Brooklyn, I appreciate the head nod too. Now I feel like Chris Bell teaching to a bunch of boxes. And I'm just like, everyone get it? And everyone's silent. I'm like, okay, I'm going to assume you all get it. If you have a problem, fuck you then. I don't know what to tell you. So I'll go ahead and put that there. Like I said, this is like starting Linux from the basics. So I went ahead and put it inside of my music folder. Let's go check if it's there. So you can use the cd command, like I said, to always go back to your home directory. We can do print working directory just to double check. And then from here, I can do ls to see what folders I have. And then I can say, oh, okay, I do have my music folder here. So I can do cd music. And then we'll go ahead and check with an ls, and bam, there it is. We'll make sure that everything made it. And this is a text document. So that's the copy command, real simple. There's one other command that's kind of similar to copy, and it's move, which is mv. It's more like cut and paste instead of copy and paste. So I'm going to move my test2.txt from my music folder, and I'm going to move it into my desktop. So again, that's going to be my home directory inside of my username and then desktop. So this will move desktop / and then I need to tell it what I want to name the file. If I just left it at /desktop, it would assume I wanted to make a file named make a file named desktop. So again, the thing with the move is it will delete the test2.txt. There'll be no way to get it back, but again, you're moving it, so you'll still have a copy of it. So I'll hit ls, and as you can see, this folder is going to be empty. So then we can cd back to our home directory again, and then cd desktop. Actually, we don't even have to. I feel like we've been doing this enough. I'll cd music, and I can say, oh, well, I want to go to desktop, so /home /chase /desktop to be a little spicy with my Linux commands. And there we go in the desktop. As you can see, this is a.
You didn't even have to do cd home chase desktop. You could do the cd desktop and then go straight to desktop. What? Mine did.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, because it's looking for a folder. Well, can I do cd /documents? Will that get me there?
No. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have to give it the full. Yeah, I thought I was right. Yeah, you have to give it the full file directory, because if not, it's going to assume that you're looking for a folder inside of the file directory you're at.
I think you could also do cd /documents, and that should get you there.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me of the cd .. Alex. There's also a command in Linux taking advantage of cd. There's a couple of different things that you can do. One of the cool little tricks that you can do with it is if you do cd .. that will take you back. Depends on how you describe it. You can call it back one file directory, and if you're thinking of it, your file directory is a tree. So like your top file directory is just your other locations, and then one down from that is home, one down from that is chase, one down from that is pictures. You can go up one folder with the dot dot. So if I did it for my home directory and did cd dot dot, that brings you back to /home. So I don't have to go to cd chase again, and that brings you back to my home directory there. So these are just basic, like how you move around inside of your terminal. This stuff is like the basics of Linux. You'll have to, the idea of like if you want to move to a different file folder from the folder that you're in with CD, you give it the full name. That is across every single command inside of your Linux Linux terminal. So that's why kind of learning like these little basic things are so important, because even though this seems really inconsequential, this stuff will carry over into everything else that you're doing. So let's go ahead and do a couple. I have a decent bit more commands here, but I might be personally running out of time, and so I might have to ask Dan to teach some other basics for me.
Okay.
But one of the next command that we're going to do is mkdir, which stands for make directory. So make a new folder. A lot of times you're probably going to want to potentially change where log outputs are being done for a different service, or just make a new folder inside your documents to store some of your files for this project you're working on. mkdir will allow you to make a new directory. So just like everything else we're going to do, make new directory, and then I'm going to put this in my documents folder, and then I'm going to call it test folder, and I'm going to hit it. There we go. Didn't need to put that /, my fault. So make directory documents /test folder. So I'm going to go ahead and cd documents /test folder, and bingo. Now I'm in there. It's empty, so it doesn't do anything, but it lets us, make a new folder if you want to. Whenever you make new stuff, sometimes you have to delete stuff too. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and go to my documents folder because I have stuff in there I can delete. And the delete command is rm, so remove. Some things may not want to be deleted. It happens sometimes. It's normal. You need to tell that thing to fuck off. And sometimes you're going to have to sudo rm and add the argument -r to it. Oh, sorry, not -r, -f, my fault. And -f is kind of what you might assume. It's -force. So it'll tell the operating system, I understand what you're telling me. I don't care though, let's delete it. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete my test.txt folder. Sorry, not folder, file. So you didn't need the -f in the sudo just to delete a text file you created, but it was there, so I used it. So we'll do ls, and as you can see here, that's no longer there. And you know what? I kind of want to delete my test folder too, so I'll do rm-r test folder. And if we look here, it wasn't supposed to do that. Oh wait, no, I did -r instead of, sorry, 1 second, wait, I messed it up. mkdir test folder. Damn, I feel like a fucking teacher now. rm-f test folder, and oh no, I can't remove it because it's a directory. There's a great way around that, and that's the -r command. -r argument that you add on to the command. So -r will allow you to remove any directories that you've done. You may have seen me doing something throughout the presentation with these random commands jumping up.
I got a weird error when I tried to do sudo remove test directory. And it said, we trust you received the user like from the local system. And there's usually found these three things. It says, I get the password. It says Doug is not in the pseudo is fired. The incident will be reported, but it's still in my
Did you add yourself as a? So who are you logged in as right now?
me. Like me. I added myself as a pseudo already.
Are you sure that you did?
Yes, I did it when you did it.
Do sudo apt/get and then update, and try that for me. Should ask for a password and then enter the password.
Yeah, I'm getting the same error.
So you guys did sudo usermod -g and then your username. Did you guys type your username? Did you guys type it case sensitive?
It said Doug is not in the subject was fired. The incident will be reported. Yes, I did. It was yes, I was.
Did we need to do it in both? Does that
No,
have to go?
I'm getting, oh, there's a chat.
Try typing in groups, just the word groups, and see what group you're in.
Thank you, Alex. Yeah.
And then you should come up as root.
It says Brooklyn root.
It says Doug root.
You're on root.
Mine just says Alec. I don't have root.
Alec, you have to run the command that. What one is it again? Where is it, Chase?
Usermod, 1 second.
Yeah, the usermod command.
1 second. They're gonna have to alias as Callie.
Oh yeah, that's true. You have to switch to Cali first. You can.
They're not gonna. I don't want them to. They don't have to sign into another one though. I forget the command off the top of my head.
SU Cali. Like switch user into Cali.
Yeah, I think it's
should just
SU.
be SU Cali. Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and type inside of your.
Okay, I switched.
Yeah. So go ahead and do SU Cali. Type the password in, which will just be Cali. And then that will show you the directory that you're in, like you said. And then we're gonna, so, 1 second, let me, I have too much shit open. And then we're gonna type in sudo usermod -g root, and then, root, and then your name, which will be Chase.
Wait, I'm already root though.
Go ahead and try it again.
Anyone else having that problem can try that command as well.
You can also add yourself to the sudo. No, I don't think you need to add yourself to the sudo group.
Yeah, I tried doing that because I was curious, and I don't think you can. I don't think like that's a group that you can be in. If you're root, you should have all those abilities anyway.
Yeah, go ahead and give that a shot. And then Jacob, I saw your question. So -R versus -F. So sorry, that was my fault for getting messy in there. -F is forcing the removal of a file. So there are some files that like come in the, like basically Linux lets you do whatever you want. I can delete the equivalent of like system32 in Linux. Yeah. If I use sudo and -F with my RM, I can fuck up my operating system. So you have to be really careful when you're using the -F. -R does stand for recursive. So when you do that, you are recursively removing the folder and everything below the folder. Yes, there is a -RF. -RF is basically the same as using -R-F. So it's like recursively remove this forcibly.
Yeah, you can put flags together into like one command. So instead of doing like letter, like adding more flags, you can just put it all on one flag.
Yeah, so the -RF is the same as doing a -R space -F. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. Probably should have said like you can do them together, but sorry for being a little hard to understand with the.
You're good.
Things there.
You're being more straightforward than a lot of the other professors, to be honest, so far.
Brooklyn, Doug, did you guys try re-adding yourself?
Yeah, So now let me try again, I guess. Move. Move. Okay, that worked. Yes.
So it worked for you now? You can do that?
Yeah, I did.
Brooklyn? Same issue? You're muted, by the way, so I can't hear. I can just see your mouth moving.
It didn't work. Sorry.
It didn't work. So you SU'd Callie, and then you redid usermod -g root and then your username?
Yeah.
Are you sure that you did it with the case sensitive?
Yes.
Yes. And then whenever you type group as yourself,
No, if I
Yeah,
type
it's groups.
no,
groups, thank you.
it
Yep.
says now it says bash group command not found. Well, that's in because it's in documents.
Sorry,
because I-
groups.
Groups
It's
with
not
an
group.
S.
It's groups with an S. My fault. I'm a
It's
dumbass.
been in root again.
It says you're in root again, and you still don't have the ability to. What? I don't even know what command I was trying to do.
Remove, force remove.
The
Remove
sudo,
/f.
Yeah.
sudo. We're gonna have to put sudo before it. I said
Yeah.
Yeah.
remove force. Yeah, it didn't work.
No,
Oh,
you don't put sudo in front of remove.
sudo.
Say that again, Brooklyn.
Above you were doing it with sudo, and I think that's what my issue is.
I was doing it with sudo just to force it. You can do that sometimes. You don't always need to do certain things with sudo. Sometimes I just put sudo just in case.
So if I try and do that, you think it'll work?
Yeah. Yeah, but I also don't know why it's saying that you're not in the sudo group, though.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm in a root group, not sudo.
Root is what you want. If you're in root, you have all those privileges.
Mhm.
This is just like my Linux stuff. Obviously.
Linux. The greatest thing ever. In the words of Christoph.
Please, did we use Callie and that Woo class like briefly? We had to go on.
Yeah.
To,
Yeah, we did a lab with that.
Potentially,
Like-
I wouldn't be surprised.
One or two labs where we brought it up.
Yeah, where we had to
But we really
go on the laptop to get on the laptop, and then to get onto like another Linux machine.
we didn't do too much with Callie in that class. Kind of disappointing, but you know,
I
I
remember
don't know
briefly.
what I expected.
Okay, I'm going to send a screenshot to Dan. Unfortunately, I am getting close to making a cutoff for myself.
That's fine. I
have a
can
meeting.
I gotta go too. Actually.
I can take over fast. I do have one or two things I want to cover fast for you guys before we let you all go. Just one or two more basic things to enter that we're going to be using coming forward. If
do
you
you
want me
wanna-
to take the reins.
Yeah, do you want to take over now? I can talk about the what I was going to show off next week without any problems. Let me see if I can make you make host.
I don't think you can.
Yep,
Yeah, I
that
just
works.
got security permission, so I guess that did it.
You're now host. Yeah, it's all you, man.
All right, sweet. All right, guys, I'll get you guys out of here fast. I understand.
Oh,
everybody
and
wants
if
to
you
go.
need to leave, you guys can.
Yeah, if you need
Yeah.
to leave, you
Nothing
can.
holding you
I'm gonna go over some very quick tools that I think are very vital for being successful in these workshops coming up. It should be very fast, 15, 20 minutes maximum. I want to go and play video games and eat junk food just as much as everyone else here. So I'm going to try my very best to not hold us up very long. Chase, anything else you want to say, do?
No, I mean I was going to go over Nmap is one of the things, but I'm assuming you might touch on that. But
I can touch on. Yeah, I'm gonna do a real quick 101 on applications. That's not even. I don't even think I'm gonna open half of them. I'm just gonna touch on them real fast.
yeah,
Are you-
just
are
like
you
what they
cov-
do. Yeah.
Are you
Okay.
covering like chaining and piping commands like next week, like next meeting?
So next meeting, which will be since we're doing every 2 weeks, the 29th.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna do basically a boot to root. So we're going to run 2 virtual machines. We're gonna run our Kali machine, and then we're gonna run a machine in the background, and then we're gonna walk through. We're not doing Metasploitable.
No?
We can. I mean, I have that for some like just some, hey, here's a cool tool. Here's how we use it. These are a lot smaller boxes with less vulnerabilities in them. Harder to, more like, let's really get into figuring out what potentially could be the vulnerability and exploiting it, instead of being like, look at all these vulnerabilities, you know?
Gotcha.
So we're going to have a box that we're going to have everyone download and load up for next time. And then we're going to work on it as a class, not a class, sorry, like as a group. We'll go through and be like, hey, what do you guys think should be next? Here's how we do it. I'll know how to do it, and I'll know the steps. I'm working through it right now so that I can be ready to answer any questions. But I'm trying to make the club less class-like. Like, hopefully this is the least class we get, and more like, let's work on this together and see what we can do.
Mhm.
So Dan, yeah, sorry for taking, you guys are all good there. I may just pop off quick in the middle of Dan talking and say bye, but go
That's
ahead,
fine. All right. So a few things I want to cover real fast. Just here's one of the things that I know I'm going to say the word notes and everyone's going to like roll their eyes and want to go jump off the roofs. I get it. Notes suck. But in this field, especially if you're getting into cybersecurity, note keeping is extraordinarily important, because you're going to see so many numbers, so many letters, so many variable names when you're doing practical pen testing. And that's kind of what this is, that this is practical pen testing. You're going to be seeing so much of that junk that you're not going to remember any of it. And you're gonna see something later on in your assessment, and you're gonna be thinking back and wondering, wait, did I see something like this? Or what version was that Apache server I saw 4 months ago when I happened to look at this one page? And so note taking is really important. There are some tools that are native to Kali for note taking, and they're very useful. The one that I seriously recommend that everybody can install straight into your Kali right now is Cherry Tree. I use this personally. This is my note taking for the assessments I'm currently running. I'm currently running a CryptoBot or a CryptoBox based off of a Udemy course, and everything I find is in here. And just in case you didn't believe me, IP addresses were important. What page it through when I did a certain information gathering was important. Enumeration, I have different categories in here, screenshots, stuff like that. It is really important, unfortunately. So to grab this tool, can somebody check fast? Because I'm on a different version of Kali than you guys, but I think it should still be in there. If you go into applications, can you search, if you search Cherry Tree, does it show up?
Where's applications?
So
no, don't install it that way.
I don't even know if it's pre-installed or not. I'm checking if it's pre-installed.
It is.
It's
pre-installed.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
install through the command line if you're gonna install it.
Yeah, I was just making sure it's pre-installed. I didn't know if it was pre-installed or not.
Mhm.
So when you open it, it's gonna look. It's not gonna have any of these in here. But the way that this note software works is extraordinarily simple. You right-click, add a node. It creates a node, and then you give the node a name, and you can write inside the body here. You can type whatever you want. And then you can go inside of that node, right click, add a subnode. Now you have a note inside of a note. And then you can put a note inside of another note inside of another note. That's all it is. It's not complicated. It takes direct copy pasting from command line very easily. So if I have stuff on here, and then this is very important. This is amazing evidence that we have discovered. I need to save this. I can just copy it and it will paste without needing a formatting assistance straight into my notes. So this is a very useful piece of software to have. I have it straight on my desktop. Every time I turn on Kali to do something, I have it open with me. I seriously recommend you get, and all these commands, especially, and this is going forward in the workshop too. We're going to be talking more about Linux commands, more about tools, Burp Suite, Metasploit, stuff like that. Just throw them into Cherry Notes. Make a Cherry note that says Nmap, and then just write down what we say about Nmap in there. And then that way, when you're doing stuff yourself, or you're tinkering along later, or we say something you don't quite understand what we mean, just hit on your Nmap note, and it's there. Yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to say. And I know we missed a few things today with some of the basics regarding some of the basic commands we were talking earlier. That would have been nice to throw in here. But I mean, a lot of that stuff, very basic commands. If you type in help, most of them are in there as well. You can find them in there. Typing in help in Linux command line, by the way, is one of the most useful things as well. I have an addiction to a command space question mark. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I just wanted to go very fast over, and this is something Chase wanted to do, was just when you guys are using Kali Linux, and I'm sure when you installed it or once you logged in, you put your mouse over this and you start going, ah, crap, that's a lot. Most pen testers do not use everything that's in here. Most pen testers have their favorite 1 or 2 per category that they use. Now, of course, the situation does change things. So sometimes a tool that they need to do something that the tool that they prefer to use cannot do. Then they end up having to go into foreign territory. But those are the exceptions, not the rule. Most people find 1 or 2 software in each category that they like and they use it, or for a specific thing. And a lot of these aren't even applications necessarily either. Some of these, like if I hit I think it's SQL map, yeah, all that it is that it's pulling up the README script for a script that's in here. It's not actually a program. You don't open it up and it, you know, you get a HUD and everything like that, a user display. It's just a